Alright, this is my final demonstration to you guys of our application. I'm going to go through each form and I'll go a bit slow so that if you guys need snapshots, you can take snapshots of each form in the video, and I'll explain each of the features in order. So we can go into our International Student Tracker.exe, and it opens right up. So first thing you'll see is this new form. It's a dynamic pop-up window that prompts Anais for the country that she's currently in and writing these data to. So it's every country here, so that's obviously more than she needs, but all those choices are here, so that's perfectly fine. Let's choose India. Now these student and recruiter form buttons are still disabled because of this new feature I added, honestly, just 12 hours ago or really early in the morning. Now you have to select your data source. So I can choose it from a flash drive, and voila, the buttons appear. I added this feature because I felt that this would simplify our deployment process. When we give, that way we can give the exe to Anais as well as the spreadsheet, and she can have the spreadsheet wherever she wants, even away from the executable file. That way when we deploy it, we don't have to see what path she wants the spreadsheet to be in and then go right back into Visual Studio and hard code the file path into the queries and such. And also I feel like it's far more intuitive for this feature to take place. It's a much more intuitive feature than to just leave it up to the programmers to decide the path. So once both of these fields are filled, we can go to a form. Let's go to student. Now this isn't much different. Actually, now I think about it, maybe these colors should be closer to the school colors. I can change that accordingly. But not much is different, except you might notice interest and country of citizenship are drop-down lists now. So if you, the prospective student, wanted to select an area of study that interests them, you can select the field of the different fields that CSU Pueblo offers. And country of citizenship, the student can select a country that they are from or currently reside in. So, one more thing, there is now validation. We have this error box telling the user to fill out all required fields. So none of these fields can be blank. Furthermore, if most of these fields are filled in, this date of birth box still needs to be in the correct format. So as you see, we have placeholder text, Monday or month, day, and year. It needs to be in that format, that like 8-digit date format. And so once the date is correct and once all the fields are filled in, of course the submission will work. So let's fill in all the fields. The only optional field in this whole form is middle name. We'll keep it blank. I'll fill in date of birth and everything else. We'll just do like an example email address. Now I can select a field of study. We could do just computer information systems, but if the user wants more information, they can simply click this button and they have this PDF reader which has your guys' PDF file of all the majors and brief descriptions of them. So it's a very nice feature. The only downside is because during development I had to have a dependency that required the installation of Adobe Reader. That would mean when we deploy this to Anais and her machine, she'll need Adobe Reader installed on her Surface Pro and probably make that the default PDF reader on her machine. But we'll look into that upon deployment. So right now this file rests in the folder that it's in. I might leave that so when we deploy the program. I think it's best if we contain the whole folder, give Anais the whole folder with the executable file and everything else, as well as this the files, the PDF file for the majors, but we can look more into that as well. So then just select the country you're from. It's really just the same country drop-down list from before. Let's do United States. That's where I'm from. Currently live in Pueblo. So now all these fields are validated. We can hit submit. Of course, you've seen this before. All of the fields we just put in are now in these read-only text fields. We can't edit them. And we can send this all to the CSV if it looks correct. And we get this window, the data writing was a success. If for whatever reason a problem comes up and the data can't write, there is a data writing failure box as well. But it was a success, so it now will appear in our spreadsheet. So next is our search feature, which is a little dynamic. We have the different search fields, the search criteria that I felt could be appropriate. So you can search by entry ID. Of course, that would be an integer. Maybe you want to return the first record. Or you can learn, last name, first name, things of that nature, and city. And all those you would simply just, type in whatever's in the text box, and it will query based on that text in the text box. Now, what's different is when you click on either country data or country citizenship, a new drop-down list appears, and it's just the same country list you've seen before. And when you search by this country, citizenship or data, it will ignore whatever text you have in this search field in favor of this new combo box. So let's go back and let's return entry ID. What if we wanted to know the first record? Well, we can search it, and voila, this is a brand new form. It contains just all the data that the query returns in this kind of nice tabular format. Is very reminiscent of a spreadsheet. So Anais, if at any point in this application she wants to review the records that are already in the database, or even brand new records that are in, she can use this search. And what if she wants to know all the records with common last names? Well, most of my records input, I just put my own name, so why don't we do a search? And here we go. We have all these records, including this number 18, India. This is actually the newest record we put in. You can see like the example and the computer information systems and all that. This is all the brand new data that actually you can see here. So that's good enough. And of course you can see like gender, maybe like female, couple records there. It'd be nice if I can figure out how to control the spawning of each form, and that way they don't default to random directions, but I'll figure that out soon. Country of citizenship. Let's do United States. And once again, it's going to ignore this text field and only look at what's in this combo box, which is United States, and that's where we're from. The most important search field would be country data, because that's where all the common records in each recruitment session, if you will be seen. This is what removes the ambiguity among the different spreadsheets that Anais will give to the International Programs Office. So if we go to India, let's see. Here we have all of our records in this one session. So in theory, all the students, well, actually not in theory because this is Anais's control, all the students that submit data in this session will be under the country India. And so the idea kind of is that every time Anais turns in the spreadsheet over to the international programs, they all have one common record, which is the country that they put in their information, and that kind of eases their job and removes any ambiguity, really. So that's about it. It looks like we've covered all the bases. If you guys have any more questions for this weekend, or if you want me to do anything else, let me know. Otherwise, it's just smooth sailing and updating documents and more debugging. So with that, have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday.